a joint press appearance. There'll be a boat ride later on the Seine, a working dinner. The French president and the Indian prime minister at the Élysée Palace right now. We can cross to the French presidential palace, and France 24's Delano de Souza, who is following this official visit by the new Indian prime minister nearly a year after his landslide election. Delano, what's the latest?
Well, Francois, 10 minutes ago, François Hollande and the Indian Prime Minister walked past me, and they're actually on their way now to address Indian and French CEOs. After that, they're going to address the press, where we will hear what the two sides have discussed. We do know that both leaders discussed issues of defense, nuclear, possible nuclear deal, and people-to-people ties.
Delano, there was earlier in the day a visit to UNESCO. There was already a meeting, a working breakfast with French business leaders. Josh Vardy has more on what's happened so far.
Nuclear talks, business deals and a boat ride. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi met French President François Hollande at the Élysée Palace on Friday, continuing his visit to France, the first country of a three-nation tour. Modi had already met Foreign Minister Laurent Fabius on Friday morning, where he was given a formal military reception to mark his arrival. Narendra Modi's visit to France is the first official meeting between the two countries since he took over as Prime Minister last year. France is hoping to get Delhi to make commitments on carbon emission reductions ahead of December's climate change conference in Paris, as well as pushing forward a project to allow French nuclear firm Areva to set up reactors in India. Meanwhile, Indian defense sources say that Modi's due to negotiate a deal to buy 63 Rafale fighter jets from France for 7.2 billion euros. India was due to put in a request for 126, but problems with localizing production of the jets has necessitated a smaller order. Hollande said he hoped Modi's visit will be fruitful for French business.
France is capable of selling exceptional products. I hope we will this afternoon with India's Prime Minister, but it's up to companies to prove themselves first, and that's what they've done.
President Hollande will accompany Modi on a boat ride, formal meeting and dinner, where agreements on transportation, space cooperation and technologically advanced smart cities are expected. Modi will wind up his tour meeting members of the Indian diaspora at an iconic Parisian location, the Louvre.
Let's cross back now to the Élysée Palace. Delano de Souza, will there be or won't there be a sale of Rafale fighter jets?
Well, Francois, earlier in the week, both the Indian and French side played down any sort of speculation that there could be a deal. They said the Indian and French relationship did not hinge on this Rafale deal. Now, what we are hearing today is a very markedly different story. Earlier in the day, Syed Akbaruddin apparently told members of the press that there was movement on the deal. Now, what that means, we're not sure, but we do have reports coming in earlier that India would potentially be buying 63 planes, and this would be a direct transfer. Now, this is a watered-down version of the 126 planes that was discussed 3 years ago. But, I mean, over the 3 years, there's been wrangling on both sides over the scale of who is going to produce what, who will be liable for every nut and bolt of the plane. So, potentially, we could see some sort of breakthrough happening. Although, I should mention, this would be a direct transfer. If the reports are to be believed, that means they will not be made in India. The previous deal called for 118 of those planes to be made in India, so you would have this transfer of technology. This, for now, would not be the case, although we will get more details once the two leaders speak.
All right, definitely something happening. Le Monde newspaper reporting there were negotiations during the night. Any reaction, by the way, Delano, inside the Indian delegation to news of the Mumbai masterminds being freed on bail in Pakistan?
Well, there's absolute shock among the Indian delegation here. They're saying that this is a setback for the relationship. And we do know that President Hollande said it was deeply shocking, the news that of that mastermind's release when he met Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, because this was a very big, terror attack for the city of Mumbai. For 3 days, the city was left hostage, very similar to the Charlie Hebdo attacks here in Paris. So the fact that this man is set free and walking the streets is really shocking for leaders on both sides, both France and India.
All right, we're going to pick up on that story. We'll be crossing back to you, Delana, when the Indian Prime Minister and the French President speak to the press. Yes, earlier